The bride arrived at the meadow to find the iron gate chained shut. A laminated notice hung from the bars. Permit suspended by order of the county. This special event permit is revoked. No occupancy or gathering permitted on these premises.
This can't be real. I have 200 guests coming in 3 hours. The permit was valid.
Claire, the florist just called. They saw the cops out front. What is going on?
Emily. It had to be Emily. Months of complaints, and now she's pulled the rug out on wedding day.
Maybe now you'll take the HOA noise standards seriously, Nicholas. This venue never belonged here.
I am sorry, folks. The suspension came from the county. We can't let anyone inside.
Who filed the complaint, Deputy? Let me guess. Emily from the HOA.
Multiple noise complaints, sir. Enough to convince the county to act.
I won't let her win. Nicholas, you said you'd handle it. Please.
Months before the suspended permit, Nicholas ran his 8-acre meadow venue without a single complaint. Then the letters arrived. Weekly noise complaints from the HOA's self-appointed enforcement chair, Emily.
Music levels exceeded 55 decibels at 4:17 p.m. on a Saturday. Unbelievable.
Nicholas walked over to the HOA clubhouse to clear the air. Emily didn't let him past the lobby.
Your venue is a public nuisance, Mr. Calloway. Our bylaws clearly prohibit commercial events within earshot.
Emily, my property isn't even part of the HOA. Those bylaws don't apply.
I don't care what your deed says. I'll make sure the county sees it my way.
She's not going to stop. I've dealt with people like her before.
Each complaint was more absurd than the last. Parking violations, trash, even a noise report for a violinist tuning in an empty field. Nicholas filed every complaint away, building a record no one else knew existed. Then Emily filed a parking complaint, claiming wedding guests were blocking the HOA's private road, though none had parked there.
A parking complaint for my own driveway now. She's fabricating violations.
Code enforcement arrived the next morning, following an anonymous tip about illegal trash dumping on his property. The officer walked the entire 8 acres and found nothing, just another wasted trip.
She's testing my patience. But if I use my real authority now, it'll look like retaliation.
Undeterred, Emily printed a letter urging every HOA household to report the venue as a public menace.
All you have to do is call the county hotline whenever you hear music. We'll drown him in complaints.
Emily, these are just people trying to celebrate. This is harassment.
Relax, Richard. The county always sides with the community. He's one man, we're 100.
Nicholas watched the conflict spiral, adding each new complaint to his growing file. But he couldn't act, not yet. Emily's final complaint landed on a county clerk's desk the Friday before the wedding. The clerk, weary of the repeated calls, issued an emergency suspension, effective immediately.
This is Nicholas. Suspended. Without a hearing. She finally crossed the line.
Nicholas pulled up to the meadow and found the iron gate already chained shut. A deputy stood guard.
Finally. Now he'll learn what happens when you ignore the HOA.
Behind them, the bride's white limousine rolled to a stop. Through the tinted window, Claire saw the chain and her wedding day shattered. Deputies held back the growing crowd while the wedding party stood in disbelief. The venue was sealed. The laminated notice fluttered in the breeze, a county order no one could override, not even the owner.
Here, I am just a venue owner. But I'm not powerless. There's another way.
Nicholas put his hand on Claire's shoulder. He promised to fix everything, then asked the guests to leave quietly. The meadow fell silent. White chairs stood in perfect rows, facing a ceremony that never started. Nicholas drove to the state board office, the one place where his name commanded an entirely different authority.
Vance, it's Nicholas. I want the biennial permit validity audit launched for the county, effective immediately.
Understood, Commissioner. Any particular area of concern I should prioritize?
Start with the Willow Creek HOA Clubhouse. They host dozens of events each year. Check everything.
Vance didn't ask why. By noon, Audit notifications hit every event coordinator's desk from here to the county line.
Willow Creek first. Their liquor license alone is always a gamble. Time to collect.
Emily wanted noise complaints. Let's see how her board reacts when their own gala permit gets suspended.
Nicholas leaned back in his chair. The trap was set. Now he just had to wait. Inspector Vance arrived at the Willow Creek clubhouse with 2 examiners. Richard met them at the door, smiling too hard.
It's just a routine check, right? We keep everything up to date. The board is very diligent.
Then, you won't mind if I start with your alcohol service certificate and liability insurance filings.
Vance stepped into the ballroom, scanned the framed alcohol license on the wall, and shook his head.
This certification expired 2 years ago. Your clubhouse has been serving alcohol without a valid license.
That's a clerical error. Our event coordinator handles the filing. I'll get it corrected today.
This is absurd. An expired piece of paper? You are going to shut us down over a wall decoration.
The inspection team pulled binders from shelves, comparing records. 2 more paperwork gaps surfaced within an hour.
1 violation is enough to flag every event permit this facility holds. I strongly suggest you cooperate fully.
This is a fishing expedition. Nicholas doesn't have the pull to send state inspectors after us.
Unfiled vendor insurance for every event this year. That's violation number 4.
Those were filed with the county, I swear. There must be a mistake in the state's records.
Vance's clipboard now held 6 written violations: expired alcohol cert, missing fire safety reports, no occupancy permit, unfiled insurance, and 2 invalid vendor contracts.
Effective immediately, every event permit held by this clubhouse is suspended for 90 days.
You can't do that. We have 2 weddings booked next month and the gala season starting in 3 weeks.
This is retaliation. Someone put you up to this. Who called the audit? Lowell. It's Emily. The state just froze every permit on the clubhouse. Get over here now.
Audits follow state code. I'll review the findings, but unless there's a procedural error, we can't stop the suspension.
A few hours later, a laminated suspension order was taped to the HOA clubhouse door. Just like the one on Nicholas's gate, the ballroom fell silent. Chairs and tables sat ready for an event that would never happen. An hour later, a white Range Rover pulled up to Nicholas's farmhouse. Emily and Richard stepped out, both fuming.
Don't play dumb, Nicholas. You called the state audit. No one else would target us like this.
I lost my own permit this morning, Richard. I've been a little busy.
You have connections. I don't know how, but this audit is revenge.
The state audits every venue, every 2 years. If your paperwork was clean, you'd have nothing to worry about.
We're looking at millions in losses. Can you at least talk to someone?
Who would I talk to? The same people who suspended my permit. I am just a venue owner.
This isn't over. I'll find out who helped you, and I'll make sure they regret it.
Emily and Richard drove off, leaving Nicholas alone on the porch. He didn't watch them leave.
They have no idea who they're threatening, and they won't until it's too late.
Within 48 hours, the HOA's phone lines lit up with cancellations. Every wedding booked for the season evaporated. Refund checks totaling $1.2 million were cut from the HOA account within a week, draining the reserve fund.
We're going under. The gala vendor just filed a breach suit. They're going to take the clubhouse. This is your fault, Emily. You pushed the permit suspension, and now we're paying for it.
The gala vendor's lawyers delivered a formal breach of contract notice, demanding $480,000 in lost revenue.
They're naming you personally, Emily. Tortious interference. If we lose, you could be liable for 6 figures.
This is absurd. I was enforcing HOA policy. The board backed me every step.
But the board had already turned. In a closed session, they voted to censure Emily and distance the HOA from her actions.
They're throwing me to the wolves. After everything I did to protect this neighborhood.
But the checks kept flowing out. The HOA was bleeding money, and Emily was now the target of everyone's rage. The next morning, A process server cornered Emily at the HOA office and handed her a personal lawsuit.
They can't do this. I wasn't even a signatory on the gala contract.
They're claiming tortious interference. Your complaints led to the permit suspension, which broke their contract.
The complaint demanded damages far beyond what the HOA could cover. This was going to hurt.
Every path leads back to Nicholas. He's the only one who benefits from this disaster. I don't care what it costs. I need to prove that Nicholas orchestrated the audit.
Even if you prove that, it won't help this case. You need to consider a settlement.
No settlements. I'll destroy him first.
She stormed out of the office, her mind racing with ways to uncover what Nicholas was hiding.
He's hiding something, and I am going to find it.
While Emily dug for dirt, Nicholas was already inside the State Board building, assembling something far more dangerous.
The complaint file is complete. 47 separate incidents of harassment, all documented. Chairman, I am invoking Section 12 of the State Event Code. I need an emergency interference review on my own venue. Friday, 2 o'clock. I'll present the audit findings and the harassment log myself. 2 more days, and everyone in that room will know who I really am.
He pulled the State Event Commission seal from his desk drawer and ran his thumb over the embossed red circle.
Emily thinks she's chasing a secret. She doesn't realize the secret is a title.
The hearing notice was emailed to every HOA board member that night.
A state hearing on local interference. Who requested this?
The subject line read, Emergency Review of Interference with State Decisioned Event Venue, Nicholas Calloway. At 2 o'clock sharp, Nicholas stood before the State Board. Emily sat in the gallery with Lowell, expecting a routine review.
My name is Nicholas Calloway, and I am the State Event Commissioner.
Commissioner? That's impossible. He's just a venue owner.
For months, I've faced targeted harassment from HOA board member Emily. 47 complaints, all false.
The board questioned him for nearly an hour. Nicholas laid out the audit findings without flinching.
The HOA's permit suspension wasn't retaliation, it was the law. Their violations were self-inflicted.
This is a setup. He's using his position to settle a grudge.
The audit was routine, the violations were real. Nothing I did caused the HOA's failures.
He's the one who suspended our permits, and I handed him the justification.
The board recessed to deliberate. Emily stared at Nicholas, her entire world crumbling. The board members filed into a private chamber. Through the heavy door, their muffled debate was sharp and urgent. One commissioner argued that granting a master exemption to a sitting official set a dangerous precedent. Another countered that 47 false complaints and a suspended wedding demanded more than a warning shot. The debate lasted 40 minutes. When the doors opened, the chairman returned alone to the hearing room. The board will issue a written ruling within 5 days. No further testimony will be heard at this time. Nicholas nodded, unsurprised. Emily's face went pale. A written ruling meant no more arguments.
You should have kept your paperwork in order.
He planned this from the start. The audit, the hearing, the delayed ruling.
Emily stormed out, Lowell trailing. Nicholas lingered, watching her go.
5 days. Then the real work begins.
Emily spent the next 3 days flooding the county with fresh noise, parking, and nuisance complaints against Nicholas. But the county workers had been briefed about the state hearing. Every complaint was stamped pending state review and forgotten.
They're stonewalling me. Not a single department will process anything.
Emily, the tortious interference case just got harder. Any new complaint looks like a pattern of harassment against a state commissioner.
The system I used against him is now being used against me. Then, what am I supposed to do? Just wait while he gets a permanent pass to ruin my neighborhood.
The settlement offer is your only leverage. Use it before the board ruling makes it worthless.
She called the HOA board. Richard forwarded her straight to voicemail. Even her allies were gone.
Every move just digs the hole deeper.
Emily sat alone in her darkening office, the lawsuit and the hearing pressing in from both sides. Nicholas called Claire and Jack to his farmhouse. He poured 3 glasses of lemonade and got straight to the point.
The hearing exposed Emily's harassment to the full board. I am confident the ruling will break in our favor.
Nicholas, we lost everything once. If this fails, I don't have another wedding in me.
2 weeks from Saturday, I'll personally certify every permit you need. Not a single county official will touch it.
The florist and caterer said they'd hold our deposits. We just need a date to give them.
Mark your calendars and tell your guests the venue is under state jurisdiction now.
That afternoon, work crews returned. New floral arches went up, and fresh white chairs lined the meadow.
I'll file a no-traffic permit the same day the exemption lands. Block the access road. End Emily's interference.
Claire visited the venue in her wedding dress, running her hands over the fabric, daring to hope. The wedding was set. But it all depended on a board ruling that hadn't arrived yet. The board's ruling arrived without warning, hand-delivered by a state courier in an unmarked sedan.
They didn't just grant the exemption. They gave me everything I asked for, and more. Master event exemption granted. All local interference nullified. They approved the no-traffic permit for the wedding.
He slid the embossed certificate into a frame and dialed Deputy Harris's direct line.
Harris, the roadblock is authorized. I am sending the permit now. Block every vehicle from the HOA access road.
Understood, Commissioner. We'll set up the barricade at the intersection before first light.
That afternoon, workmen cut the chains off the venue gate. The laminated suspension notice disappeared.
Emily's driveway is on that road. She won't make it past the barricade.
By nightfall, the meadow was ready. White chairs faced a new arch, and the gate stood open. All that remained was the wedding itself, and Emily's discovery of what she'd truly lost. The next morning, Emily found a laminated notice taped to her mailbox. Special event no traffic permit in effect.
What is this? No traffic? They can't block my driveway.
Deputies had already closed the road. Emily's Range Rover couldn't pass.
I have a right to leave my own house. This is false imprisonment.
It's a state-authorized road closure, ma'am. For the event down the road. No exceptions.
Nicholas. He did this to trap me.
She called Lowell, who read the permit along with the board's ruling. There was no appeal window.
Emily, the permit is tied to the exemption. The state board approved it. I can't challenge it.
So I am just stuck here while he throws a party on my street.
Emily retreated inside, slamming the door. The wedding had already won. The morning of the rescheduled wedding dawned clear over the meadow. The roadblock was already in place. A charter bus pulled up to the barricade, its passengers in formal wear pressing curious faces to the windows.
State permit, sir. You are cleared to pass. Follow the detour signs to the venue.
At the open gate, Nicholas greeted every guest with a handshake, his tan sport coat crisp in the sun.
It's really happening this time, isn't it?
I double-checked the whole setup. No chains, no deputies blocking the way. Just us.
Across the road, Emily stood at her living room window, watching the stream of guests cross onto the meadow.
He's actually doing it. All those people are celebrating right in front of me.
The meadow filled with laughter and the first notes of a string quartet. The ceremony was minutes away. Emily pressed her palm against the glass, trapped inches from the life she'd tried to destroy. The officiant took his place under the floral arch, and the meadow fell into a reverent hush.
I promise to build a life with you, no matter what storms come.
I will be your home, not just a house. Every day.
Nicholas stood at the back, hands clasped, watching the vows with a peace he hadn't felt in months.
They're actually exchanging rings, right there, where I was supposed to have stopped it.
The officiant declared them married, and the crowd rose in applause. Jack lifted Claire's hand, and they cut the first slice of cake under a cascade of string lights.
To the happy couple, may no one ever chain your gates again.
He's toasting them, while I am stuck behind glass.
Emily turned from the window, her fists clenched. The wedding had won, and she had lost. Emily yanked open her front door and marched toward the barricade, her heels clicking on the pavement.
Get out of my way. I am leaving my own property, and you can't stop me.
Ma'am, this is a lawful closure. No pedestrians, no vehicles. Please step back.
I don't care about your permit. I'll walk to the venue and tell every guest what kind of man Nicholas is.
Then you'll be arrested. The commissioner has already warned us about your history of harassment.
You are all in his pocket. This is corruption.
The deputies didn't flinch. One of them pointed to the body camera, mounted on his vest. Emily's fight drained out of her. She turned and walked back to her house without another word. Inside, the living room was dim. She sank onto the couch, still in her blazer, and buried her face in her hands. The muffled sound of distant laughter and music drifted through the walls. The reception in full swing. The reception danced under string lights. Claire and Jack held each other close, the day's tension finally gone.
I can't believe this day actually happened.
It did, and it's perfect. Nicholas made it happen.
Nicholas raised his glass from the edge of the dance floor, a quiet toast to himself.
To the couple, and to the person who reminded me that patience is the sharpest tool.
In the dark living room across the road, Emily opened the settlement letter her lawyer had sent.
They're going to take everything. The HOA won't protect me. Nicholas made sure of that.
She let the letter drop. Beyond the blinds, the dance floor lights flickered in the distance. The music swelled. Jack lifted Claire under the stars, and the crowd cheered. Nicholas lingered at the edge, one hand resting on the exemption certificate in his pocket. As the weeks passed, the master exemption kept the meadow open. No more complaints, no more chains. Nicholas walked the grounds at dusk, the empty chairs a quiet testament to his victory.
Peace. This is what it feels like.
On his desk, a framed wedding photo sat beside the exemption certificate, a reminder of the day he set things right.
Patience, that's the lesson.
The gate stood open, and the morning sun found the chairs waiting for the next celebration. No more phone calls, no more Emily. Just the quiet hum of the countryside. Across the road, Emily's house remained still, the blinds forever drawn. Nicholas looked out over his meadow, the sun dipping low, and allowed himself a small, satisfied smile. All complaints silenced, all chains broken. The meadow was his.